guys. It's the Empathic Realist here, aka Shanae, and I have some special guests in the studio today. What you just heard was Taylor Bradshaw. The song was Celebrate, and he just released his album, was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about a week and a half ago, yeah.
Yeah, and we have his amazing manager here, Stacy.
Hello.
And she reached out to me a couple weeks ago, maybe, asking if Taylor could be featured on the show. And I'm like, of course, because it's all about community here on the Empathic Realist. So, Taylor, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it, Shanae. Mm-hmm. I am a singer-songwriter who, I just released this album, Twine. It's been in the works for a good few years now, and I'm really excited to get it out there. I just went on tour with my band, Such Sweethearts. I did a little northeastern tour of the U.S. and learned so much and had such a wild time. Sweat a lot in a bunch of weird venues and basements, and
Nice.
it had its ups and downs, but really it was all ups.
That's amazing. Where did you go on tour?
Let's see. It was a northeastern tour, so kicked it off in Brooklyn because our hometown is New York City, and then went to Troy, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, Boston, Massachusetts, New Paltz, New York, and wrapped up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Nice. And so how did it feel? Is that your first time doing an actual northeastern or regional tour?
For sure. Yeah, it was my first time. I mean, my bands, they've all been around the block, you know?
Yeah.
They've all been on those kinds of tours, but it was my first time, and certainly my first time with this solo project, which feels good, you know? Even though it's a singer-songwriter sort of thing, we play with a full rock band. And so it really does feel like a band. It feels like a family, and we are super high energy sets.
That's amazing. So how did it feel connecting with the locals in all the cities? How did they kind of, feel you guys?
Every city was totally different. It was cool to see how different every scene could be. I mean, New York knew more or less what to expect, although I didn't expect the kind of support that did show up to our show. That was really surprising. I really appreciated how many people came out and how hard they partied. That was awesome. But then going up to Troy, that was the first out-of-town date with the full band. I didn't know what to expect. So we show up, and it's a church. And
Wow.
we're okay, interesting. I know this is supposed to be a punk show, but we go inside, and there's a church service, and people are singing church music. So we're all right, maybe we're early. So then about an hour later, they start filtering out, and all these punks with amps start running into the building. And they set up this show, and there's fog and lasers, and you just look at someone and smile, and a mosh pit erupts in the middle of this church. And
Wow.
so that set the tone for the rest of the tour. That was such an incredible experience to see what this community put together. I mean, they were so supportive. I was blown away by this community. They had all listened to my album and shared it with their friends. They knew who I was. And I was just so grateful to have been a part of that.
That's amazing. So do you want to give us a little background on how you got into music? What's your story, where you're from? You're also a part of the CUNY family. So,
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my background, grew up on Long Island in New York. And, I would always come into the city as a teenager to see shows, and then we'd spend all night in Union Square and come back when the sun rose.
Wow.
So got into music, learning the songs of Bright Eyes, and I actually learned guitar in order to write music.
Amazing.
That was the original idea. So I've always been writing music, and then joined a band, joined another band, and then throughout the years kind of developed into what this is when I finally, dropped everything else and moved to New York City, went to City College for music and audio engineering. And that's when I started really getting super serious about the music. I thought I stood no chance of getting into the program because all the other people, they had been interning in these big music studios in New
Yeah.
York City. And I'd never even lived here before. I'd never set foot in a real music studio, but it turns out that I actually had a great advantage because I was producing albums in my drummer's basement for both my band and other bands. So I was already a working producer at that time, and I didn't realize what kind of advantage that was until I got here, and the rest is history.
That's amazing. Before we get to the special treat, I'd like you to possibly introduce what other song should we play for our audience today?
Oh, another song off the album?
Yeah.
You could do one. I don't know. Stasi, why don't you pick it?
We should do slow dance.
Slow dance. All right, I like it. Yeah, we got a music video for this one coming out real soon.
Okay, do you want to give us a little bit of background on what was the writing process like for that song and what sparked Slow Dance?
Slow dance, it's the idea behind the lyrics is using dance as a metaphor for the push and pull of a relationship and the lack of verbal communication that goes in there. Because nonverbal communication is what dance is. And it's also essential in a relationship, but sometimes things fall apart in a relationship because you're not able to express yourself really. And so it's using dance as a metaphor to show how things can be, you're trying so hard to communicate with each other, but every time you pull towards each other, every time you pull away, there isn't that return. There isn't that kind of communication. So it's about that.
Amazing. That's beautiful. Okay, guys, so here we go with Slow Dance.
It's the final song. I've done something far too wrong. You're shaking and tasting the salt of your tears on my tongue. When I move closer, I feel. When I pull away, there's nothing left to say.
Awesome. So that was Slow Dance by Taylor Bradshaw. And so now, you ready to sing?
I am, yeah. So
All right. So you want to introduce this song?
Yeah, so this one's called Laura. It's the song that has been getting the most attention, it seems. So struck some kind of nerve with people.
Yeah, it has like over, I think, 12,000 streams on Spotify.
Yeah,
I saw it yesterday.
yeah, it does. I mean, it's just it's a love song, and who knew that's
People
that's something
love
people
love
respond
songs.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not enough love in the world, so a good love song eases the heart, you know?
Yeah,
All right, so you ready?
I am.
You guys, I heard Soundcheck, and he's amazing. And so I hope you guys enjoy this. Here we go.
Laura, stay with me a while. Look at me and smile. I don't know what I would do with you around. How blissful the fire inside, embers spring to life. Won't fight back, not against this swelling sound of music ringing in my ears, bringing me to tears. Beating drum is my heart when you're around. La da da dum dum dum. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. La da da dum dum dum. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Oh, Laura, stay with me a while. Look at me and smile. I don't know what I would do with you around.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. I feel so honored to have heard that live.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Do you have any other shows coming up?
You know, right now, not at the moment because I just got back from tour. So right now we're actually focusing on a couple of music videos and on really creating some new content. We got some rappers who are actually working on remixing some of my songs. So we do have some shows like coming up in the
Wow.
books, but right now we're working on getting some new stuff out.
That's amazing. What rappers are you working with?
My friend Kevin Garcia, actually, and some of his friends are working on it. I think they've got some stuff coming out too. I think they're still working on what they're going to call themselves. But you know, I heard he hit me up like in the middle of the night. He's like, "Dude, get me those stems like tonight."
I could see.
And I'm like, "I'm not gonna get home until like 1:30 a.m., dude." And he's like, "Dude, do it at 1:30 a.m." And like the next day, he sent me the remix, and it was fire.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
That's amazing. And so do you guys know when you're going to release that?
You know, it's a surprise.
Oh,
Keep you
I
in the
can't
loop.
wait. Oh, so while we're on the subject, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so on Instagram and Facebook, I'm Taylor Bradshaw Music.
Okay.
And then if you want to grab the album, I got it printed to vinyl, which is a
Oh,
cool
dope.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can buy that on TaylorBradshawMusic.com.
Amazing.
And I did all the album artwork for it too, and there's like
Oh, you
handwritten
did?
lyrics and like charcoal drawings inside. I think like visual arts is sort of part of the whole project for me. So
Wow. So how did you come up with the name? Because the album's called Twine,
yeah.
right? So how did you come up with that?
So Twine is the name of the final song on the album. I use twine as the idea it ties everything together. It's a string that can easily be broken, and it's also a way that you can measure something. Mm-hmm. So twine, I'm thinking of just this relationship dangling by a length of twine. There's a specific amount of distance, you know, that's held between yourself and another person by gravity. And you can know that this thing, you're just hanging there, you're in suspense, you have this potential energy, and you know that this thing can snap at any moment. But you are also accepting that fact. And so it's necessarily temporary, and it's temporal in that way. You can reflect upon this moment of beauty that you know cannot last.
Wow, you've left me speechless. I love the philosophical, scientific, psychological kind of references and descriptions. That's really amazing. You seem like a very deep, artistic person. I know you laugh, but I get that energy from you.
Thanks.
Is there a lot that goes into your process of creating, composing your music?
Yeah, I mean, music is definitely therapy for me. It's the way that I process the experiences I have. I mean, these songs are, for the most part, like written about real experiences. So there are real people involved in these lyrics. They know who they are.
That's good.
Like there might be some listening right now.
That's great.
It's all very real stuff, and it's the way that I process it all.
That's amazing. And are you ready to do your other song?
Yeah, so I got like a little treat for you. This is actually a new one. So I know I'm here promoting Twine, but I'm going to play you a new one because we've got so much new stuff on the way, and I'm just really excited to keep on making new content and getting it out there and telling new stories.
I mean, that's what it's about, right? We are the natural born storytellers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and like I ease back into some of that more, thoughtful, quiet love song stuff, but also like when we're live, we're loud. We're
running all over the place.
Yeah. If I can tell a little story
yes,
about
please.
So we're pretty energetic live. It's a full band. It's a rock band, and one thing that came from the tour is I learned a lot about how our band functions and how we fit together as a band, like what roles we play. And it was funny after like a set, we'd play and like these other bands are like really put together that we're playing with, some really talented people. And we'd play and, we go crazy as per usual. And like people would come up after the show and be like, man, you were so good. You were so tight. And I'd like smile and say thank you. But in my head, I'm like, what band are you talking about? I was tight. I was tight compared to the other people there. And like, I brought this up in front of like my band, and like Derek and Steve, my drummer and bassist, they were just like, yeah, dude, while you and Praveen are rolling around on the ground in front of everybody and like doing backflips and stuff, like we're in back holding it down. And, I learned that we have spaces that we hold in the band, where if our drummer and bassist are really holding it down and they're tight with each other, me and Praveen, my guitarist, like we can be rolling around on the ground, we can be knocking the mic stand over, we can be breaking strings, we can do all of that stuff, and that gets people super hyped, but it still has a foundation. And it was great to have that conversation, say it out loud, and like learn about ourselves as a band.
That's amazing.
So
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm going to play you one that we usually close with, and this always gets people dancing.
All right, guys. So, and what's the name of it again?
This one's called Blurry Photos, and
Blurry Photos.
Brand new. You're not going to hear it anywhere but this radio station right now.
So we have a premiere here. Premiere. So here we go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Going back to Glasgow in the rain. You and me upon the canal, cheap champagne. Taking blurry photos, makeup running down your face. Laughing at what fools we were that day. Making fun of ourselves, drunk on holiday. And I'm so far away, it's hard to imagine my words having any sway upon your open way. Parted lips upon your ears, not the same. Going back to broken record thoughts. You and me covered in mud and on the
the stream we crossed, washed away our clothes except our socks. Didn't matter what we kept and what we lost, and I'm so far away. It's hard to imagine my words having any sway upon your open way. Parted lips upon your ears, not the same. And I'm broken into you. It's like you broke right into me, into you, right into me, into you, right into me, into you, right into me. And I'm so far away. It's hard to imagine my words having any sway upon your open way. Parted lips upon your ears, not the same. And I'm so far away. It's hard to imagine my words having any sway upon your open way. Parted lips upon your ears, not the same. Parted lips upon your ears, not the same. Parted lips upon your ears, not the same.
Yeah, that was amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So as we wrap up here, who are some of your musical influences?
Oh man, I got a lot of them. Some of the big ones for sure are Bright Eyes, Conor Oberst. The Strokes are what really like woke me up as like a 13-year-old kid, being like, oh, that's what cool is.
Wow,
You know?
yeah, I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, Strokes. A Place to Bury Strangers is my favorite band in New York.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
Oh, they're
I'll have to look
insane.
it
They're
up.
playing this Friday. I'm gonna go there and rage so hard.
Where are they
So much
playing?
fun.
Rage so
They're I don't remember, honestly,
okay.
off the top of my head. They're playing in Brooklyn.
Okay, cool.
But, like Titus Andronicus also.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
are you
really?
serious?
They're
That'll be
amazing.
fun.
So like these bands, like the super high energy stuff combined with the songwriting, I mean that's really what it's all about to me, is dancing like crazy, connecting with people, a community, and telling stories.
Yeah, I'm all about storytelling.
Yeah.
That's like a big proponent of mine when it comes to music and when it comes to arts. That's great. So where do you see like your band or yourself with your music in like 2 to 5 years?
I see it just getting bigger and bigger. It's been kind of crazy to see putting this effort into it. I never really expected things to go the way that they are, but I mean, people from around the world are covering Laura. And
Oh my gosh,
posting
that's
videos
amazing.
of
What are
it.
some countries that are streaming Laura right now? Can you remember?
Oh, all over the world, but
Yeah.
Brazil's pretty big right now.
Interesting, okay.
I mean, United States is the biggest one. It's pretty big in LA right now, which makes
Yeah.
sense. I mean,
Yeah, makes a lot of
it's about
sense.
a person from LA. So
Oh, okay.
LA and New York. And then just a bunch of random countries. It's kind of crazy how it's getting out there.
That's
so
amazing.
seeing that and having, total strangers from around the world, ask for the chords for something, or post
wow,
videos of them playing
yeah.
it, or like just sending me like really heartfelt things about my music, saying that I'm going places, or even just sending me like really weird messages too. Like,
that comes
Those
along
are
with it. It comes
Yeah.
along with it.
let the weird fan mail commence.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
a lot of that stuff has been really encouraging.
I could
So,
totally see you performing at South by. I've like had the honor of performing there like 6 years ago, I think. But I mean, they canceled it this year. But
yeah,
but that would be great. I mean,
yeah. I think next
Austin
year I'll
is
be
a
there.
great place for you.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to plan a tour around that and go down there. My
Yeah.
bassist actually took off straight from Philadelphia to go on a tour with another band and
Oh,
make his
really?
way down there.
Oh,
So
very cool.
he keeps busy.
That's amazing. So we'll probably end with another one of your songs from the album.
Sure.
So what other song do you want to feature as we head out?
How about Twine?
Yeah, let's do that. The title track of the album. And again, we're in the studio with Taylor Bradshaw and his manager, Stacy. Say hi, Stacy.
Hello.
So I want to thank them for coming in the studio today and for giving us such a precious gift of live music. And you can pick up the album on Spotify, iTunes, right?
Everywhere.
Where else? I don't know. What other streaming, whatever streaming service, or if you want to be cool and get the vinyl, I just got a vinyl record player. So you can get it on his website, Taylor Bradshaw Music, right?
Yeah,
.com.
TaylorBradshawMusic.com. Even if you don't have a vinyl record player, like, it's a piece of art.
It is.
And it comes with a download card.
My
so.
best friend, just a quick story. My best friend had actually bought my first vinyl of Amy Winehouse. This was like right after she passed away, and I just got a vinyl record player. So yeah, like I agree with Taylor, piece of art. You know, just to have. You'll get the record player at some point.
Yeah.
So thank you guys again. I'm Shanae, aka the Empathic Realist, and we're gonna go out of the studio today with Taylor Bradshaw's title track, Twine. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Shanae.
Yeah, you're welcome. You come back anytime.
Ooh.
Spring is just getting started.
Yeah.
As time moves on, my mind has come to rest.